So lately, I've been getting a lot of questions about how water-soluble stabilizer as a topping will hold up in the long run in the wash. So I thought of picking up Heat Away stabilizer, which I've known about for a very long time, but I've never actually used. As always, before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe. All the comments that you guys have been leaving us, all of the likes that you guys have been leaving us have really helped us get over that 20K hurdle. So thank you so much. We are already past 21,000. I'm overwhelmed with all of your support. Please tune back in and make sure to subscribe. So in this episode, I'm going to show you not only how to use the Heat Away stabilizer, which I am trying out for the first time, so bear with me, but I'm also going to do another stitch with a water-soluble stabilizer, and in the next episode, you'll see how it holds up. So really fast before we jump into the episode, I wanted to take a little step back for the newbies. The reason why we would be embroidering with a water-soluble stabilizer or a Heat Away plastic film on top of our stitches, so we're using this stabilizer as a topping, not a backing, is because we want to make sure that our stitches come out really nice and clear when we are working with textured fabrics. And when I talk about textured fabrics, I mean things like terry cloth. This is terry cloth from Joann's, towels, robes, anything fur, basically anything that has a little bit of nap to it. You want to make sure that your stitches are coming out clear, so you have a little extra layer where the stitches can float atop so that they do not sink into the fabric. So this right here is a water-soluble stabilizer. This is Sulky Ultra Solvy. It's a heavy water-soluble stabilizer that you can use as a backing for patches, or you can use it as a topping to make sure that your lettering comes out really nice and clear. The issue is that it is water-soluble stabilizer, so people ask, well, how long do these stitches stay clear if you're constantly washing it, right? Since it goes away, it dissolves in water. So that's why we came up with, well, not we, but that's why manufacturers of stabilizer came up with the idea to do a Heat Away water-soluble stabilizer. And so this right here, since it's not water-soluble, so it's not a Heat Away water-soluble stabilizer, it's just a Heat Away stabilizer, right, topping. So because this is not water-soluble, it's heat, it dissolves in heat, it's not gonna actually dissolve while you're washing it, which means that your lettering is going to be a lot more clear. So when we're using Heat Away, we do want to wash with temperatures that are cool. That way the heat in the water does not dissolve the stabilizer and the stitches stay nice and clear. So in this episode, I'm just going to go ahead and embroider these. Along the way, I'll give you a few tips for embroidering on textured fabrics. And then in the next one, I'm actually going to be over time washing these two towels to see if there really is a difference. So let's just jump right into how to use this. This is a little bit different than water-soluble stabilizer in the sense that it has like a little bit of a grip, and that grip goes on the side of the fabric, right? So it's gonna be actually touching the fabric. This right here is called Heat Away, and I actually picked it up at All Stitch for those who are wondering where I got this. I also have my size C hoop right here for my EM1010, which I will be giving away at DecoSummit. For those of you who still haven't picked up your ticket, I highly recommend doing so before we sell out. It's gonna be the very best event in the history of custom apparel. But seriously, I hope to see you guys there. I'm gonna be teaching a few classes using this machine right here, and you might be one of the people who actually wins it. I was so busy talking about DecoSummit that I totally forgot that we still need backing. What am I doing? So I'll be right back. Let me get the backing. All right, so I got my stabilizer on. I am using cutaway just because it's what I have on hand, but you can use tearaway as well. So you can use whichever one you prefer. Cutaway just tends to hold up longer with washes, and cutaway is more stable. So, you know, if you are gonna be washing something very often, like a towel, I would recommend cutaway if it doesn't get in the way. I do know that it could be a little bit abrasive. So you can also use tearaway depending on your design. So since this is such a simple design that I'm embroidering, I'm just gonna embroider some lettering, and it looks to be just like satin stitches. It's a pretty simple, solid design that will show up pretty well on this type of fabric. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my hoop in, and then once it's in, I'm just going to place the water-soluble stabilizer over the fabric with the rugged side adhering to the actual fabric, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So for terry cloth fabric, I'm just going to be using my standard 7511 sharp point needle. And I'm just using an Isacord size 40 weight blue thread. So I'm just doing one color, want to keep the design pretty simple so that I can see any differences. So I went ahead and I placed the heat away stabilizer. Remember, you don't need to hoop it, you can float it. You can hoop it if you want to, but you can also easily just float it over. So I'm just gonna go ahead and press start. So I don't know if it's me right now. I'm currently taking out some of the Ultra Solvy. It is harder to take off because it is a thicker water soluble stabilizer. And honestly, I don't know if it's me, but it really does seem like there's a bit of the difference in the clarity of the lettering between the Heat Away and the Sulky Ultra Solvy. This looks a little bit more clear and bolder. But let's see what happens after a wash. This still looks pretty great too. But just I don't know if it's me or not, but I do think this looks a little bit bolder. Anyway, we're just gonna bring the Heat Away over to the heat press. You can also iron it. You don't need a heat press, but I'm gonna use a heat press because I don't have an iron at the moment. So let's just go ahead and bring it over so that we can go and start doing the testing in the next video. So they recommend that you iron it on 240 degrees Fahrenheit. So I put my heat press for 240. It's still cooling down, it's at 260. So I think it'll be fine now. I'm just gonna place this paper over to protect the stitches. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring it down for about 10 seconds. Just give it a try now. This is really nicely flat ironed, I will say that. So there's still some little bits and pieces there that I'm just gonna pick out with my snips because it doesn't seem to go away. So after some time under the iron, there's still some bits and pieces there that don't go away. I'm going to iron it at home and see if I can get those little bits and pieces out. Alrighty, so here I have my Heat Away one. I tried to heat it with the heat press and some of the bits weren't still not coming out. So I'm gonna try it with an iron in the next episode. And then here I have my water soluble stabilizer. I ripped most of it out. And then of course I still have some bits in there. And as you guys have seen in my other videos, what I would do with those bits is I would just grab a damp cloth and apply it over. So it's actually really easy to remove water soluble stabilizer. So as far as the removal process at the moment, I'm siding with water soluble stabilizer. I do feel like the stitches look cleaner with the water soluble stabilizer as well. I did use a heavy one, so it could be because of that. However, the stitches still look great here as well. So all that there's left to do is to put it in the wash and see how these perform after, let's say, 10 washes. Alrighty, so thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe so that you do not miss part 2 of this episode. In that part, I'm going to actually take this home, see how it performs in the wash, and then I will be back explaining if this whole Heat Away stabilizer thing is a myth or if it really is a better alternative to water soluble stabilizer. So again, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and join our Facebook group, which I have linked below if you want to chat with me or ask any questions to thousands of peers in the embroidery industry. Alrighty, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready to fall in love. Such a good song. Okay. To fall in love. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready to fall in love.